Pikes Peak International Hill Climb is one of the top 5 most dangerous races in the world.
You don't want to hear the sirens coming up the mountain, or you don't want to hear the officials say the race has been postponed due to an accident.
Oh, there's so many things that are out of our control. None of this is in our control. Ultimately, the ability to compete is what it comes down to.
Even before that, I noticed my cabin started filling up with smoke, so I knew something wasn't right.
You know, for Zach and I to share something like this, to understand, you know, the dangers as well as the fun of it all, is just an incredible feeling.
We're heading down to the World Arena down in Colorado Springs. We're about to do some tech inspection this morning, get the cars weighed, get them finalized before we go out for qualifying tomorrow morning. The nerves haven't hit us quite yet. Reality I don't think has necessarily quite set in yet. We just got a few more things to knock out this morning, or this afternoon technically, on both the cars before we go out on the mountain tomorrow morning and have everything finalized. So we're hoping that it's going to be an easy week, no issues with the cars, and that we could have everything go as smooth as possible.
Very, very fortunate and blessed to be a part of this, considering that it is one of the longest running races in the world and one of the most dangerous races in the world. It's not something that everybody can do. Being able to have this opportunity to do a race like this is just absolutely incredible, and I'm especially being very fortunate and blessed to be able to do this with my dad and my family and friends and share the moments and the memories.
They're doing is just making sure all the safety equipment and everything is on board and ready so that we can get up on the mountain and race.
It's a grueling, just difficult week to go through. You know, starting on Monday during race week is it's the technical inspection where they check out your cars to make sure it's, you know, ready for, you know, roadworthy, it's safe, and that there's no issues with it at all.
We got here about 4 o'clock in the morning, and we started setting up about roughly 4:20, 4:30, and so it's about roughly 5:30 right now, so we're a lot more awake and ready to get going. Right now we're about getting ready to go off for our first run. First run's nothing serious. It's just a matter of getting the car warmed up, the tires warmed up, warming up your head, preparing yourself for what's going to come up. Right now I feel pretty calm. It's just trying to keep my nerves as calm as possible. You don't want to get too scared or too anxious, So right now I just want to stay calm going up the mountain and just focus on studying the course before Sunday. I think I was probably one of the middle cars to go. My dad went before me, and I had a little bit more light out by the time I went. Coming up, I was a little bit over halfway at that point, and I looked at my rear view, and all of a sudden I see a bunch of smoke. And I freaked out, and I was like, oh my God, I knew something was wrong at that point, but I looked over at my digital dash display, and I made sure my temperatures were good and all my pressures were good. When I got to the finish line, they were flagging me down and everything, and they were yelling at me like, hey, stop, pull over, your car's on fire. And immediately from there, even before that, I noticed my cabin started filling up with smoke, so I knew something wasn't right. And thankfully, there was a couple officials there ready with a fire extinguisher. By the time I popped the hood open, they just immediately sprayed it down with the fire extinguisher and got that fire out right away. Unfortunately, that was the end of my day.
This is our qualifying rounds for today. Zach and Craig went up the hill. They got 6th and 12th. I guess on Zach's car, the oil feed line was spewing oil, so it caused the turbo blanket to catch on fire. Got a text message from Zach, so they're up there, I guess, trying to fix it so they could bring it down. And then we're probably just gonna take the turbo blankets off and run them without the blankets. That way we don't run into this issue again.
Felt like I had a really good run on that last one. A lot smoother. I could probably put a little bit more speed into it, and that's what I'll have to do on race day.
It's difficult feeling for me to put him in such a dangerous position, but I also can't say that I can deny him of the opportunity of something that he wants to do. I think that would be more detrimental in his personal growth and all. Zach is an incredible young man, been racing motocross since he was roughly 9 years old and quickly progressed to racing national amateur motocross across the United States. And we would travel, to many different states and participate in a lot of different championship races that the AMA would put on, and great opportunity. He was a very good rider, but just had a lot of unfortunate incidences that he had broken bones and some hospital visits.
He's been my #1 support since I started racing in motocross back when I was 9 years old. Him and I have both shared a passion of racing. He was always there teaching me and being my coach at the motocross track.
When Zach was 17 years old, he pretty much made the announcement that he was retiring from motocross. He and I sat down and talked about, is there something we could do together?
And then when we eventually switched over to racing cars, it was something he wanted to do and it was something I wanted to do, so we were able to both do it together.
Zachary.
Here.
Meyer. Here. Kevin. Here. Schmidt. Here. Lenny.
A couple things. First off, if you have an incident or a mechanical issue on the side of the road, you pull off. Once you are parked on the road, you get out of your vehicle, your run's done. Wait for a safety truck to get to you. They'll give you instructions what to do, what the plan's going to be. Secondly, the road's in good shape. I think you probably already touched on it. So we're here to have fun. Everybody be safe, and we'll see you all at the end of the day. Yeah. Doc, anything?
Good to see you guys. Be careful in the pit area. We did have somebody get.
We're here for day 2 of practice Wednesday morning. It's roughly 5:10 right now in the morning. Sun's just coming up. So we're here for practice. We had qualifying yesterday. Fortunately, during qualifying, we had a little bit of misfortunes with both cars with some oil leakage and oil lines coming off, and as well as my car catching on fire, actually. So the expectation today is have some good, clean runs, get as many runs in as possible, and try to get used to the course and make some mental notes.
There's just something breaking up in the car right now. I think we might have found it could have been a boost leak, which would have done it. And I thought that too, but we also think it still needs a little bit more fine tuning on the tune. So we'll put it back out there here. We'll skip a run and then go back out. We'll let the car cool down a little bit.
Jeff and Jacob and Raw Power PM, they're the ones who you know, brought us the engines and helped build those engines, and that are in both of the cars. I see that, you know, their participation in working on the cars, making sure that the cars are ready to be able to race.
Looking at the road, and so that's been difficult. Even if
Having a team is incredibly important, you know, because everybody plays a role. Having a team there with us is just super important, and we're very thankful for those who are part of the team, you know.
My name's Jacob. We're at Glen Cove, halfway up Pikes Peak Mountain. Today's second day of practice. My role is make sure everything works, make sure all the cars make it up the mountain, make sure nothing catches on fire, which it only caught on fire because I wasn't here yesterday. And just make sure everything goes smoothly. You know, we've been building this car for a while now, a lot of trials, tribulations, so we're just now getting it all figured out. There's still things come up, things happen, so just make sure everything goes up smoothly.
You start to climb up the mountain even more in elevation, and the temperatures start to significantly decrease. By the time we get to the top, it's dropped 30 degrees from the bottom to where we're at. So it's 37 degrees, pouring rain, 10-mile-an-hour winds.
But I think it blew everybody away with the sideways rain and wind and fog and everything like that. You know, with us having the motocross team, we would always strategize before races because conditions change, or we would strategize in order to adjust what we needed to adjust to. The danger. I think ultimately today what we need to do is really just feel the car
and just make points in your head on where you need to memorize part of the track and whatnot.
Exactly. We need to find the vulnerabilities where we are, or find the areas where we are vulnerable to possible mistakes. People who, you know, will still go out there and try to bust ass and like great times and whatever. And it's not about that. It's totally about surviving. That's exactly really about it. And so, you know, to coin your phrase,
that we'll use forever is don't be that guy, you know, be the smart guy.
So it was just cold that morning, and they're like, all right, we'll give the option of doing a parade lap. And so first thing we did was get in the car and do that parade lap. We wanted to see what the moisture was on the track. We wanted to see how bad the road has gotten over a certain amount of time and whatnot. And so throughout the day, we wanted to practice on the ability of encountering rain, snow, whatever, during race day. And
Fast and dry! Woo! Fast and dry!
As I shared with Zach, yes, it's Thursday's the day you could basically lose the race. You can make a simple mistake and ruin your car, and you won't be lining up on Sunday. You're combining speed with the need to react in the proper way. In particular, driving up this mountain, there's a lot of places where there's no guardrail with a 2,000-foot drop off the side. You don't want to be that guy that happens to.
So I got 4 runs in total, and I ended up second fastest time in practice that day. Being able to actually be up there just felt absolutely amazing. You know, regardless, most people didn't get nearly as many runs as we did, but still it was an absolute incredible feeling to be sitting there right behind this absolutely amazing car, you know, and these absolutely amazing drivers being up there in that position, you know. So that felt really good.
To the left side of the road, or what?
I was literally all over the place. I was driving like I was looking like I was drunk. I was all going like this. I was trying to avoid all the potholes and bumps as much as possible.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pikes Peak Live presented by Mobil One, the exclusive broadcast partner of the Broadmoor Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, brought to you by Gran Turismo. My name's Johnny Palmer. I'm joined by Bruce Jones for the next many hours as we race to the clouds, but unfortunately, as predicted by many weather forecasters in this part of Colorado, the snow has hit, the summer snow, and therefore, ahead of the 99th running of the Broadmoor Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, we have a delay, I'm afraid to say, but all cars will still run at this stage of the day. We just have to wait a little while for the mist to clear. Very, very foggy indeed at the very top of Pikes Peak right now, and also quite a bit of ice as well. Just spectacular cars across 6 different classes, and this is one of those events where the rule set is so simple. You can build a car, and as long as it's safe enough, make it as fast as you like, get to the top of the mountain as quick as possible.
We're getting geared up for race day right now. We're coming up on our starting position here roughly pretty soon. Feeling a little nervous, but also pretty calm at the same time. Be confident in the car. Right now, I'm not necessarily confident in the weather. It's kind of changing here and there between cloud coverage and possible moisture on the track. So unfortunately, they closed down top half of the mountain, so we're only racing up to what they call a 16-mile. It happens, but it is what it is, but we're ready to do it.
You know, one of the big things that we have focused on entire racing career, motocross, rally, this is building relationships. We have individuals coming all over the United States to be a part of our team that are either active or retired military veterans. We've always tried to show our gratitude toward their service and what they've done, and having them sign our cars to, you know, show respect and honor them in that regards. We just want to show honor and respect to them.
My name is Garrett Greer. I was a sergeant in the Marine Corps, Force Reconnaissance Team Leader, and I was in from 2008 through 2016. Actually, I met Craig through another one of my buddies, Tyler. And Tyler's known Craig, I guess, for about 10, 15 years. Used to ride motocross with Zach. Tyler was a scout sniper, and I was a recon marine. And we have a Facebook page that guys like still get together and talk on after we get out of the service, and that's how we met. And it just one thing led to another, and here we are, man. It was just awesome, man. It's been a beautiful time, and just really enjoyed the experience. I tell anybody to come out and try this out.
Shannon Moham. I was in the United States Air Force from 1991 till 2003. And I'm here just helping out Craig and Zach. Zach will probably have some butterflies in his stomach right now, getting ready for the race, and those will progress all the way till he gets up to the starting line. But once the flag drops and he gets going, all that'll go away, and he should settle in, and hopefully he'll run a really good time.
We've seen some horrendous crashes and a number of people who have passed away trying to do what we were doing. See, there's so many things that are out of our control. To think that we have any control would be wrong.
These memories are lifelong memories. This is definitely going to be something I'll be carrying on for the rest of my life, telling my kids, my grandkids. One day it makes me sad to think about this, that one day we're not going to be able to do this anymore, him and I. It's tough to think about that, but you got to live it in the moment, be able to appreciate the moment and cherish the memories that you're making now, so that later on in life you could look back and be like, wow, I can't believe I did that, and let alone being able to share that experience with my dad.
Carrie is a true gift from God to me. Both Zach and I went through some difficult times in our lives several years ago, and God introduced me to Carrie. She totally accepted both Zach and I's way of life, and I can't thank God or her enough for what it is that she puts into this team.
Ultimately, for him, he's doing it because he loves it, and it's something that him and I could share together and do together and be a part of.
It runs deep. It's super strong. I can't tell you how much I love that opportunity to do all this with him, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I know 100% fact my dad loves me, and I think it's an incredible experience to be able to share this moment in life with my dad.
Zach Lumsden in his ex-Rally Art. Now heading into the final corner just before 16 Mile.
Yay! They did it!
Did it again. 2 years in a row, bud.
I made the devil run. I gave him poison just for fun. I had one friend, now there's none. I made the devil run. I broke so many bones, but none of them were ever mine.